Sometimes life doesn't give you a straight path. Sometimes it gives you a spinning wheel. And in this season, both in my life and the podcast, I've had to remind myself that it's okay to pivot. So, this episode tonight was originally planned to be about the new civil rights battleground. But here's the thing, so much is happening right now, and I am just one woman running this show. And instead of pushing through on autopilot, I've decided to give myself and you all a treat tonight. Tonight, I am pulling out the wheel of purpose. It's a wild card, impromptu conversation where we let the wheel of purpose guide us. Because sometimes the best conversations are the unplanned ones. So let's spin the wheel and see where purpose takes us. Come on. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Pretty Purposeful Podcast. I'm your host, Angee Mèlange. As I was saying, this episode is going to be one of those impromptu, almost like a live episode. The only difference is I don't have a live audience to engage with me, but that doesn't mean that you can't engage in the chat. I will be dropping the questions as I get them. I will be putting them on the screen as a ticker so that you can play along. Yeah, I'd be interested to know your responses to these prompts as well. So again, welcome to episode 3. So before we get into the wheel of purpose, I always like to give you all an update, see what I've been up to. So since last week, there have been a lot of different updates in the news. At this rate, I just can't keep up. I am like, okay, which headline do I want to talk about today? What I will say is that I'll say this. I do appreciate seeing in real time some of our white counterparts coming to the realization that they have been bamboozled, that the rich, have pitted them against Black and brown people and just minorities in general, to shift the focus from how they were pretty much robbing, how they've just been getting away with taking from the poor, and not just the poor, but the working class citizens, and just leaving us scraps to fight over, and while on one side, they've got a very divisive and hateful agenda, and it's sad because it's to their core. They could try to dress it up and try to make it seem like it's some Christian way of, some conservative way of living, but we all know what it is. I just want to take this time to remind you all that the 2020 census data did show that of all of the races, the white population, not only did they not increase in their population, but they declined. So that means that white people are dying. However, they are not, making more babies to keep up with, their majority. That being said, the mixed race population was the fastest growing. So in the past 10 years, there's been a 276% increase in the mixed race demographic. And mixed race is not just Black and white, it can be Asian and Black, Asian and white, Hispanic and white, Hispanic and Black. So it's just, that is a reflection of our country. And there could be so many extreme views on both. I don't want to say left and right, but if we were to look at, let's say, the white population and then the Black population, if those are the two polar opposites, and then there's these, multitude of hues of color and races that have been mixed. We people that are multiracial are like the bridge.
Bridges of unity, mixes of race you see, bridging the differences of humanity.
If we were to look at the minority groups and combine them, that would put us at a majority. And we already know that Hispanics and the mixed race are procreating at faster rates. So that would help you understand why there's this push to deport Mexicans, to lock up Black and brown people, to target them, this is like, when I tell you it is mass deportation, the urgency, it is just like oppression on steroids. So every single day there's something new that's coming out that will affect Black and brown people. So it's been a lot, and that's why I figured, while I am still trying to curate, some guests for this season to join, so that it's not just my perspective, I have to be able to pivot when I need to. With that being said, I am going to go ahead and share my screen. So right now you are looking at our Wheel of Purpose. Well, that's not actually the Wheel of Purpose. That is actually the page. It has its own dedicated page on our website. It's kind of like a secret page that I only bring out whenever I do this type of episode. But I am thinking about opening it up to the public and possibly switching the prompts on there, maybe monthly. Let me know what you think. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in participating in. It would be like a free online game that, if you were in a group setting with your family or friends and you were bored or just really wanted to, see what's been on each other's minds as it relates to current events, it would be a great conversation starter. So yeah, let me know if you would like that. I'd be open to sharing this publicly. All right, so let me go ahead and let you see the wheel. And y'all, I tried to make it match me, blue and green. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and spin this puppy. All right. And of course, I can't see. Okay, duh. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spin. And again, whatever comes up for me, I'm going to also put that on the ticker that you can participate as well. All right, so let's see what the first prompt is. All right, so the first prompt is what I've learned about protecting my peace in digital spaces. Ooh. Okay. Well, I have learned that as far as my own pages, let me just say that after Kamala lost the election, I shut down my Facebook. I downloaded all of that data. I canceled my Instagram, my personal Instagram, and I transitioned over to TikTok. And I've been doing a lot on TikTok and on Fanbase. I also started, and I was active on there, but I'm still, learning how to navigate. But I would say just not following people who don't align with, your approach to life. Or if their values don't align, it also, you have to consider the reason that you're online. Like some people are only online for business purposes. Some people are only online for entertainment. Some people are online to keep in touch with, distant relatives and friends. So for me, I do a little bit of all of that. However, I learned early on that in order for you to keep your peace, you got to make sure that the people that you're following do not, aren't toxic, or just making sure that you curate, a feed that is going to feed your mind, body, and soul. I have people that I follow that are, into fitness, keep me motivated, keep that, fitness, health at the top of mind. I follow other motivational speakers and influencers who promote, wellness and personal development. So, yeah, that's what I've learned. I've also learned how to delete before I post. So if I'm going to troll someone, I have learned to type it out and then say, you know what? Nah, it's not that serious. But if it is something, if I feel like, I can educate someone, I'll share. And then if someone tries to troll me and go back and forth, I'll just delete the comment because no, that's too much energy. You either learn it from me now or learn it at a later time, but that's not my ministry to be trolled. So the moment that I start getting trolled, I am exiting left. Okay. And I may even block you. I don't need all that drama and chaos. So what about you? What have you learned about protecting your peace in digital spaces? Let us know in the comments. Let's go ahead and spin this wheel. Ooh, how the changing season, fall into winter, mirrors a shift I'm feeling inside. Well, we are actually not fall into winter. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that because we are summer going into fall, okay? Let's spin this thing again. Okay, the last time I felt proud to stand up for something big or small. Ooh.
I used to hide from the light, I would cower, too ashamed to be me, so afraid of my power, till one day mama said, I got something to offer. Just look in the mirror to see. Now it's up to you to believe that you got a purpose. What is your reason? What is you fighting for? I see you searching, burning inside. It's something you can't ignore. Yet everyone's hurting, but you gotta fight. Get up and keep moving forward. See, don't back away with your hands up, 'cause somebody needs you to stand up.
Gosh, y'all, stand up. I have stood up for democracy since, I don't know, as long as I can remember. When I first, came to know about, injustices and inequality for Black people, especially, I've always been an activist in some way. But the last time I felt proud to stand up for something was this most recent election. I used the podcast to encourage people to get out and vote. I used the podcast to inform people about, the political climate, the things that were going to be impacted, the things that were at stake. So yeah, I would say that I'm proud that I was within the 92% and did everything I could to prevent this person being in the White House. I don't even know if I want to call him a person, but let me be careful because, word on the street is that if you talk about him, yeah, he may just have the FCC come after you. So I'm definitely I'm gonna use my words wisely so that we can keep the podcast going as long as we still have free speech. Okay. Anyway, so that is the last time I felt proud. Even right now, like even this season, continuing the conversation, continuing the focus, continuing to virtually mobilize people, inform people, and just do my part. This is the only way that you can access so many people and make a difference. There's still work to be done, boots on the ground, right?
I'm about to hit the street with my girls, it's time to get loose. Hanging out to the moon peak like my cheeks hanging out of them. When there's her Davis flowing, I'll be kicking up dust. Can't forget about the folding chairs, pop the trunk and grab my Stanley cup. Cause I'm here for a good time, not a long time, baby. I might be late, but I'm always on time, baby. Gotta back it up and let them know that it's real. Baby, hold it, hold it, hold it, keep. I got my boots on the ground. Yeah. I got my boots on the ground. Wait a minute, let me do that one more time.
What was that?
What in the hip-hop and R&B just happened?
Well, folks, that's the bottom line. At Pretty Purposeful Events, event planning meets social impact. We plan, we host, we build community. Grounded in service, guided by values. From youth empowerment events to community outreach, we create spaces that bring people together with purpose. Let's create something purposeful together. Pretty Purposeful Events is based in Atlanta, Georgia, proudly serving nonprofit and community-based organizations nationwide. Virtual services available. For more information, visit us online at prettypurposefulevents.com. And we'll go ahead and spin the wheel. Hey, what does self-care look like when the news cycle feels nonstop? Well, the first thing is putting the phone down, face down. If you notice that you're scrolling too much, setting timers. I've set a timer for TikTok and Instagram to 1 hour per day. And it really has helped me to stay productive and focused and so of course, with everything going on, you naturally are going to be anxious because there's news breaking all day long, right? And so that's one way. Another thing I do is, of course, that's the main one because it feels like it's nonstop. So you have to stop it, right? So like whether that's on your phone or even on your TV, because you turn on the TV, these streaming apps, they know which podcast you listen to. They know what the algorithm knows the content that you follow. So just making sure that you are taking a break, making sure that I'm taking a break from electronics altogether, because the type of news that we've been getting hasn't been good, right? For us, at least, those of us who are impacted, it's important to make sure that, at least for me, what I've been doing is making sure that I pray every day, of course. But now it's like I have a routine in the mornings. I stretch before I even get out of bed. Like I just have this morning routine that is just all about meditation and stretching. And I've found that really helps, kickstart my day, get me in a positive mood, not looking at the phone as soon as I wake up. Those are just some of the things that I'm doing. And I just feel like right now, because it's so saturated with news everywhere, breaking news everywhere, that just those the little things, like India Ari says, the little things, right?
It's the little things and the joy they bring. It's the little things. It's the little things.
Things as small as I made some turmeric ginger lemonade. Now, that's not something that I do all the time, but I found that, recently drinking it boost my mood. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the ginger. There's lemon in there. So like, I just find that beverage not only refreshes me, it has, all these anti-inflammatory and just, good nutrients, but just doing that, taking time out to make that homemade beverage, something that if you buy it in the store, it's not cheap. If you buy it, hey, there's some vendors that sell this stuff like fresh. They make it on the side of the road, and it's not cheap. So to make it at home, for me, that was a form of self-care because it's something that I enjoy drinking. And, now I have, whenever I'm thirsty, and go get me a little, like not getting paid to advertise, so I'm not going to say their name, but they have a beverage called a refresher. And so that's like my form of a refresher. And it does help. I usually start my day with a cup of coffee. And so that by midday is a nice pick-me-up. And it just feels like I'm doing something good for my body. So, all right. What about you? What does self-care look like for you when the news cycle feels nonstop? Drop us some comments. Let's go ahead and give this wheel another spin. Y'all, there are so many prompts on here. I don't even know what they are. I do not know what's going to pop up. Okay, here we go, guys. And spin. A tradition or ritual that feels more important this year than ever. Ooh, well, the first thing that comes to my mind is Thanksgiving. I think that every year, something about the thought of Thanksgiving. Yeah, I just feel that this time of year, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. It just, to me, something about that holiday, it warms my soul. Not for obvious reasons, the slaughtering, the genocide that occurred, the history behind Thanksgiving is not it. It's more about the tradition of getting together with family or just being in touch with family. I haven't made any plans yet, but this is a year that I'm open to invitations. So if you're cooking, listen, me and my Kayla, we will be on our way, okay? No, since I've been here in Georgia, I have spent some holidays with friends and their families, but I think this year I'm more open to actually spending time with my own family. So yeah, if you're family and you're watching this and you're cooking, listen, okay? I'm just putting it out there. Listen, a closed mouth does not get fed, okay? I will definitely bring desserts, okay? I'll bring some supplemental dishes. Just looking forward to that time of year. And I would say Christmas, because I do love Christmas, but with everything going on, that tradition does not feel the same, with all this capitalism, all of these oligarchies getting this money. I just feel like this is the year that we really should be saving our money, making our family members, those who are not aware or on board, like really aware of what's at stake and why it's more important. Y'all could take that money y'all would spend on gifts and just have a feast, get all the things, have a wonderful, spectacular feast, play games. Like, you don't have to go out here and spend your money. If you are, spend it with the small Black and brown businesses, support the Black community, any businesses out there, any, Black owned. I know there's a young lady that had won the U Award. She made her own doll. Now, I know her doll is in Target, but hey, you still can support her. Can't think of her name right now, but I'm just saying, I am going to curate a list and put it on the Purpose Hub on our website. The Purpose Hub currently has links to small Black businesses, right? But I mean, as I come across them on social media, I'm going to start to link them within the Purpose Hub so that when the holiday season comes around, we can support those Black businesses. Purposeful family, what is a tradition or ritual that feels more important this year than ever? Let us know in the comments. All right, let's get this wheel back up here, y'all. We are getting through this. See, this is what I'm saying. This episode here is really, it's almost as if I'm live, but I'm not live, right? So whatever prompt comes up, it's really making me reflect. And that's the reason why at the very beginning, when I put this banner up, with the mirror, this is really all about self-reflecting. But at the same time, as I'm looking inward, I'm also thinking about the world around me. And so if you're following along, I hope that this is, it's causing you to tap in a little bit, because right now, so much going on outside that seems to be where our focus is. But let's not forget the things that matter to us, the things that make us who we are. And that's what's going to carry us through this time. All right, I digress. Let's move on. And here we go. Well, I really have no idea what is going here. Ooh, this is a great one. Okay. Wow. Why speaking up feels riskier now and why I still choose to do it. Ooh, okay, first of all, let me get a banner here, because I want to know you all's thoughts. If you have spoken up, if you are speaking up, if you're not speaking up, I want to know. Y'all know I'm speaking up because I feel like I don't have a choice. I feel like I've experienced so much injustice in my life, and I've witnessed so much injustice to my family, my community. I can't not speak up. Like, I'm sorry. I was born on Martin Luther King Day, okay? Not Dr. King's birthday. His birthday is the 15th. My birthday is January 19th. Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday was observed on a third Monday. And y'all, I don't know if this year my birthday falls on Martin Luther King Day. It may. I have to look at that. Matter of fact, let me take a look here. Let me see something. I think it does. It does, you guys. Oh my God. So I'm so used to, let me just say, I'm so used to celebrating my birthday and Dr. King's birthday. I'm just used to it. It's like throughout the years, I have either read his speech, I've either sang, or I participated in some Dr. Martin Luther King celebration. Almost every single year. I mean, if I wasn't doing something on his actual birthday or that weekend, that Monday, I was always doing some type of volunteer work. So yeah, I don't know what we got planned, Purposeful family, or to my people out there fighting for democracy. I don't know what we're going to do to honor Dr. King's legacy, but I feel as though, hey, listen, January also marks the anniversary of the insurrection. So you already know they're going to be out there throwing their little anniversary parties when they call themselves taking back the country. So we definitely have to come up with something that we can do to counteract that hate that I'm pretty sure is going to be spewed. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me know if you know what's going on. I'm here in Atlanta. I am here in the birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King. So there's always something to do here. So yeah, I will be letting you all know what I will be doing for my birthday and also to honor Dr. King for his birthday and his legacy. All right, so this question. So why speaking up feels riskier now and why I still choose to do it? For obvious reasons. You could become a target. When you speak out, you take a risk of people having opposing views. So you always have to be prepared for opposition. You always have to know that if what the message that you're sharing goes against whatever their agenda is, if what you're doing goes against that, then you can definitely expect to have some backlash or some opposition. And it can be dangerous. There's a lot of people that are speaking up, and as the great Cat Williams said,
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
At Pretty Purposeful Events, event planning meets social impact. We plan, we host, we build community. Grounded in service, guided by values. From youth empowerment events to community outreach, we create spaces that bring people together with purpose. Let's create something purposeful together. Pretty Purposeful Events is based in Atlanta, Georgia, proudly serving nonprofit and community-based organizations nationwide. Virtual services available. For more information, visit us online at prettypurposefulevents.com. That's what's happening. This system is being exposed. There's people for the first time ever learning about how this system operates. You know, those of us who are in corporate America, and I mean, if you're a Black person, you already know this, but to our counterparts of other races who are in corporate America have recently, through DEI programs and initiatives, have been educated on the system and how systemic oppression shows up and how it trickled down and affects generations of, you know, Black and brown people, but Black people especially. They talked about, you know, the Reconstruction of America. They talked about, and you know, our ancestors were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule, and they never got their 40 acres and a mule, and how that in and of itself just made the playing field uneven. So I say all that to say, those who are in rural America, who only get news from Fox News, who are not educated, who haven't had the privilege of being in a safe place, a safe setting. Now, don't get me wrong, because of people working remotely, there are people who work in corporate America who were raised in rural America, who still live, you know, in rural America and still have those rural American values. The ones who are curious, they gain any curiosity that they may have had. They were able to take that information and see the value in it. You start seeing that some of the things the family said and some of the values that you grew up on, they are not true. They were based on lies. And it was lies to keep you from having empathy towards people who were different than you. Not just Black people, but I mean, any person of color. I don't have a choice. I can't sit by and be quiet. I just can't. Because even my life to this day, I have constantly had to advocate for myself. And I feel like on a larger scale, my voice, while I might be in this little quiet, you know, corner of the internet, my voice is still getting out. I still have a platform. And as long as I have a platform, as long as I have this mouth that I can still use, okay, I'm going to do that. And now I will say that I have to be mindful of what I'm saying. You know, my messages that I share on here are authentic and they're raw, but at the end of the day, they're rooted in, I would say, love for humanity. I don't, you know, even the racists, I can empathize with them and say, you know, I don't have to say, oh, I hate you. Like, no, that's energy. To hate someone requires energy. I can't even say that I hate the racist. What I can say is I empathize with them and I wish their situation was different. And I'm glad that that's not my lived experience. That's what I can say. At the same time, when I come on here and I use my talent, you know, creating skits, there's always been political satire. Saturday Night Live, come on now. I'm not going to say they wouldn't be as popular if they didn't use political satire, but that's what they're known for. Whenever we are dealing with things in our society that are just very heavy, that comedy can really help kind of soothe, you know, just kind of ease and calm everybody down, and just still have a glimpse of hope. Just being able to laugh about certain things, you know. I mean, I feel like we're going through so much that laughter, they say, is the medicine to the soul. And so when I do my pretty undercover skits, I'm taking a risk, you know, but my goal is, at the end of the day, I'm using my talent to raise awareness, to add some humor, to give somebody a reason to smile. Now, if they say at the expense of someone else, like, look, listen, comedians have always made jokes about famous people and public figures. And so my thing is, it may not, the skit may not be appealing to people on the right, but you never know. There might be somebody on the right that's like, you know what? This is actually pretty funny, but it is what it is. I do it for my audience, and yeah, that's all that matters. Okay, so that's why I still choose to do it, because it's like, I understand what's at stake. And if I were to take my last breath tomorrow, I would have known that I use my platform and my voice to help save democracy, and just for the betterment of our society, just for the betterment of our country. And that's what my purpose is. So let me know if you are someone who's speaking up right now, or if you feel that it's too risky. I would love to know your thoughts. All right, Purposeful family, we are winding down. This is one of those, again, purposeful potpourris. You never know what we're going to talk about, but time is ticking and time is winding down. So we're going to do a couple more questions, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up, okay? Let's see. Here we go. And spinning. Nope, I'm not answering that question, y'all. Come on, give us something good, Will of Purpose. We need something good. How I know when it's time to unplug and what I do instead. Oh, gosh. Okay, so I know it's time to unplug when I'm sitting there typing a whole paragraph to a stranger to make a point. And, like I was saying earlier, I've learned, to keep my peace, to protect my peace and to protect my energy. I will delete it. So that's what I will do. And then it says how I know when it's time to unplug and what I do instead. I also know when it's time to unplug because I shared that I have alarms set. So I have a limit set for Instagram and TikTok. And so once I reach that limit, y'all know if you have it enabled, you get a message on the screen. And on TikTok, you have to actually punch in a 4-digit code, a 4-digit PIN in order to continue. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm glad that you got to do that because it makes you think, like, what is the reason why you have this alarm on here if you are not going to adhere to it? So, but there are some times where I'm in the middle of posting something to my page, on the podcast or personal, and I'm like, oh, hold up, no, let me finish posting this, and I'm not going to touch it again for the rest of the day. But that's what I do. And let's see what else. When I need to go to bed, when I literally need to get up early in the morning and I have to go to sleep, then it's like bye-bye TikTok.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye Instagram. Phone down, face down. So that's how I know when it's time to unplug, and that's what I do instead. What about you? How do you know? How do you know when it's time to unplug? And what are some things that you find yourself doing instead? Like, do you go outside? Do you walk? Do you, I don't know, shop? What do you do? Let us know in the comments below. All right, we're going to do one more question, Purposeful family. Like I said, this Wheel of Purpose has so many different topics on it. And let me get it back up on the screen here. There's so many topics. I have no idea what all is in here, but there were a total of 20. And of course I used AI, and I gave it a prompt to know what type of questions, but I, again, didn't know exactly which ones. All right, so Oh, now this is awesome. Of course, because I love music. And so the fact that the last question is going to be about music just melts my heart. One song that perfectly matches the mood of this season. Well, there's a couple songs that come to mind, and one of them I would say, but I'm going to keep it I'm going to save it because I may be performing it this year at the Georgia Festival of Trees. Because y'all know, well, you might not know this, but this is my 3rd year performing at the Georgia Festival of Trees, and I haven't announced the date and time of my performance just yet, but each year that I've performed so far, I've performed 3 songs, and usually it's a Christmas. Well, actually, it's usually 2 Christmas songs, and then 1 song that is like global, something that has to do with, humanity. So the first year I sang One Voice by Brandy. That was on the Never Say Never album. And last year I sang What the World Needs Now is Love. And that was originally from Dionne Warwick, I think. Allegedly now. But so this year I'm going to be doing another song like that as well. And so that's the one song that comes to mind, but I won't share that now. I'll share that later. And let's see. I would say Michael Jackson, They Don't Really Care About Us. Michael was way ahead of his time. Way ahead of his time. But that's the song that would match the mood of the season. They don't really care about us. They really don't. But Michael tried to tell us. He did. Thank you, Michael. All right, Purposeful family. We are going to go ahead and get out of here. This has been fun. Let me know what song matches your mood for this season that we're in right now with the politics. Just how chaotic things have gotten. This man said he gonna make America great again. I don't see nothing great about it. Like, it is on a decline in so many ways, and it's giving very much delusion. So I don't know. I mean, what's a song that talks about delusion that y'all could think of? Because that's another, that would be another song, okay? Well, I'll say this. Another song that come to mind is DMX. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me act a fool. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my cool. Up in here, up in here. That's another one, okay? They gonna make listen, I'm not trying to incite no violence or anything, because I don't condone violence unless it's in self-defense, okay? And right now, our rights, we're trying to take our rights. So I am trying to fight to save our rights. But as far as physical violence, no. That, I would say, is if I have to protect myself, I am ready and willing. Don't test me. It's not the season for that, okay? Okay, let me fix my little baby here, because baby here is getting a little, okay. Like I said, hopefully I don't lose my mind. Hopefully nobody loses their mind up in here, okay? And that we, continue to work together and do things the right way collectively. Let me go ahead and remove this banner. So at this time, I do want to thank you all for joining. Follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. And also, if you want to follow me on TikTok, my TikTok handle is Angee Mèlange. And the podcast on TikTok is Pretty Purposeful P. Okay, so definitely, if you're not following us on socials already, go ahead and follow us. Let's see. Okay, also, if you would like to be a guest, I am still looking for guests this season. In fact, this episode here has given me the additional time that I need to continue finalizing this season's guest list. Now, it's a lot going on and it's affecting everybody. Not everybody is so quick to plan and commit to things because things right now are just so unpredictable. So I am being respectful of, people's obligations and being flexible. And I'm, that's why I haven't released the entire topic lineup because, things just don't work out that way. At least not right now. So I am still trying to be like Bruce Lee says, be like water. I am trying to be like water this season, okay? I think all of us need to be just as flexible and adaptable as water and let things flow smoothly. The resistance, there's going to be some resistance. Like Bruce Lee says that water can either, what did he say? It can crash, baby. Water can crash, okay? What did Bruce Lee say? Because I want to say that I shared this quote before. I feel like I might have actually mentioned it on episode 1, but let's see. Bruce Lee says, and I quote, Bruce Lee says, the water can flow, okay? Or the water can crash, okay? It's all about the force, right? It's all about what you got behind you. Let's come together, and if we need to crash, let us do so purposefully. This has been an awesome episode. It's been pretty chill for the most part. Hopefully my responses were thoughtful because it is pretty late. So I'm tired, clearly. But as always, Purposeful family, I would love to have you on. If you have a story to share, I would love to bring you on, and so that you can get that opportunity to share your experience and insights. Yeah. So if you want to be a guest, visit our website at prettypurposefulpodcast.com. There is a tab that says Be a Guest. Click on that, and then you'll see all the different topics that we have there. Definitely jot down which ones you're interested in and then select one, and you can go ahead and fill out the form. You can actually select multiple topics that you're interested in when you submit the form. So when it comes time for that episode to film, if you're not available for that one, you do have the option of doing a different date. You also can suggest your own topic. I am certainly open to new topics being presented, but overall, I just appreciate you all taking time to listen, to engage, and hopefully you gain something from this episode. Let us know in the comments below your responses to the questions from the Purpose Wheel. And if you notice, my voice is a little low. It's because it is pretty late. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. If you made it to the end of this episode, go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and share. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Definitely come on and join this purposeful community. There is so much more in store, but I couldn't nor would I do it if it were not for you all tuning in. And I look forward to the continued growth of the community and looking for the amazing things that are to come. Until next time, y'all, it's okay to be pretty. As always, it is okay to be pretty, but it's even better to be
of wasting all my life. Trying to get it right. Tired of wasting all my